In the 2022 NBA Finals, the Golden State Warriors climbed the mountain once again, securing the 2022 NBA Championship after beating the Boston Celtics 103-90 in Game 6, winning the series 4-2. This season, however, things aren't exactly going to plan for the Warriors, so stay tuned and don't go away, because Draymond Green breaks his silence on Warriors' early season struggles. Plus, Draymond Green self-scouts Warriors' real struggles, but West is right there for the taking. First up, what happens when you enter a season with high expectations and things go horribly wrong? Ask the Golden State Warriors. The Golden State Warriors entered this season with high expectations, a core of veterans, and a crop of young stars. They were early season favorites to become champions once again, but unfortunately, that hope has since dwindled, and the Warriors have not come close to meeting those expectations. In fact, the Warriors have been hands down one of the worst teams in the West this year. Steve Kerr feels like the Warriors' dynasty is nearing its end, but defensive star Draymond Green says he isn't losing any sleep over the team's recent troubles. During a recent interview, Green said, "I think the struggles are real. I don't think our struggles are just something we can ignore. They're real struggles. They're very fixable struggles. I don't want to say they can be easily fixed, because to say something is easy in this profession is a lie in itself, but they are very fixable." But the real question that Green and everyone else is asking is, how long does it take to fix them? But Green isn't overly worried, and he's keeping his eyes on the prize. Green further added, "But in saying that, to build what they're trying to build, we do understand that it takes time. Now, how do you do that while winning? We've been in this position before, where we've had struggles and things that we needed to work on and had to fix. One thing we know for certain is that the Warriors have always been able to learn while winning." Hopefully, Green and the rest of the squad can get back into the groove of things sooner rather than later. Next up, what are some of the biggest issues plaguing the Warriors at this time? We're about to find out. At the time of this recording, the most prominent issues facing the Warriors have been on their bench, arguably one of the worst in the NBA. Jordan Poole, Jonathan Kuminga, Moses Moody, and James Wiseman were supposed to be this dream team, essentially, and instead, these young stars are earning DNPs 1 month into the start of the season. For those of you who are unaware of the acronym DNP, it stands for Did Not Play, and it means exactly what it says. When a coach decides that a player is DNP'd, it often hurts the player's ego. Despite the Warriors' struggle on the bench and on the defensive side of things, Green and the rest of the Warriors crew haven't lost faith in what their team can do. Yeah, they might look bad now, but the Warriors are capable of flipping the script at any moment. But in order to pull that off, they'll have to hurry up, develop a game plan, and execute it. We can't forget that this is the same team that won 4 titles in 8 seasons with the same core veterans that they have now: Stephen Curry, Klay Thompson, and Draymond Green. Do you think the Warriors will turn things around this season? If so, how long do you think it'll take? We'd love to know your thoughts, so drop those comments down below. Up next, which Warriors player can help the team turn things around? Draymond Green. Green is somebody who can help the Warriors win basketball games and possibly the playoffs. At this point in the season, the Warriors are 6 games worse than they were last season. Their defense needs a lot of work, and even worse, they've had a rough go since the start of the season, despite Steph Curry playing some of the best basketball he's ever played. Draymond Green has also been giving it his all every time he steps on the court. 4th-year guard Jordan Poole has been playing better lately too, but still, this trifecta of top-tier talent hasn't been enough for the Warriors to get the job done. The team is 20th in the net rating, with a starting lineup of Curry, Thompson, Andrew Wiggins, Draymond Green, and Kevin Looney that is elite, but the rest of their lineups are just plain bad. If progress doesn't come sometime soon, Warriors general manager Bob Myers and his front office will undoubtedly have to make some changes to the roster. Prospects like Wiseman, Jonathan Kuminga, and Moses Moody could be packaged in a trade for a high-level veteran upgrade. At the time of this recording, however, it's still too early to make those kind of roster judgments and decisions. Recently, a scout who watched a Warriors game in person person spoke under the condition of anonymity about some of the struggles Thompson has been having and said he has no pop, he just looks slow. And again, that's not to say he may not be back to normal by the spring, but at least right now he's not. If things only get worse for the Warriors and Myers is forced to make some adjustments to the roster, how would you like to see that play out? If heads gotta roll, who do you think should end up on the chopping block? Stay tuned and don't go away, because we're about to bring you the latest NBA news. Next up, would Toronto Raptors star Fred VanVleet trade Barnes for Durant? We're about to find out. Toronto Raptors all-star point guard Fred VanVleet thinks the Raptors would have won more championships if Kawhi Leonard had stayed beyond the 2018-19 season. During a recent episode of How Hungry Are You with Ma Fuzzy chef Serge Ibaka, VanVleet said it was just a perfect group of individuals and we all had that right mindset for our roles. I think definitely we would have won a few more. Ibaka treated VanVleet to food native to Africa to start the meal, and he asked VanVleet if he would trade any teammates, including Scottie Barnes for Kevin Durant, and VanVleet gave Ibaka a brutally honest answer. VanVleet said, "I wouldn't do it. I told you I'm a loyal guy, man. I'm not a trade guy. I wouldn't do it." This speaks volumes of how much potential VanVleet and the Raptors see in Scottie Barnes. Clearly, Barnes plays a vitally important role in Toronto's future plans, and he's earned elite-level status as the team's potential future workhorse. What do you think? Is VanVleet out of his mind for not wanting Kevin Durant instead of Scottie Barnes? Or do you admire VanVleet's loyalty to a fellow teammate? Drop those comments below. Up next, are the Chicago Bulls the most depressing team in the NBA? Absolutely. No team currently finds itself in a more hopeless situation than the Chicago Bulls. Sorry, Bulls fans, I was always taught to call a spade a spade. Recent wins against the Celtics and Bucks aside, Chicago has been plagued by unfortunate injuries, a youth movement on the team that's been more theoretical than effective, and two former All-Stars that are unlikely to ever earn that distinction again. But what's even more disconcerting is Chicago's future, when the executive vice president of basketball operations, Arturas Karnisovas, chose to accelerate the track that the team was on by surrounding Zach LaVine with veterans Nikola Vucevic and DeMar DeRozan. There was a feeling of hope that the team's problems had finally come to an end. But 20 months later, after trading Wendell Carter Jr., Otto Porter Jr., and 2 first-round picks for Vooch, they have nothing to show for. Currently, the Bulls have 8 wins and 11 losses, and its offense is made up of outdated equipment that struggles uphill when they can't create a bunch of turnovers on the other end. Bulls head coach Billy Donovan called out his 3 highest-paid players before an embarrassing loss against the Magic. But then he benched LaVine in crunch time. The window of opportunity that opened up for the Bulls after DeRozan was acquired is now closed, and if any team in the league deserves to sink, it's this one. Finally, is Jaylen Brown becoming a superstar? Brown's performance this season has been spectacular, and his days as the team's second fiddle are drawing to a close. Why? Because Brown is becoming a superstar. In a recent interview, point guard Marcus Smart said the things Jaylen is doing when he is at his best is the same thing Jason Tatum is doing at his best. JT's been in the talks for that MVP race, and when Jaylen's playing the way he's playing at his highest peak, he's in the MVP race too. Brown isn't going to be a true MVP contender as long as Tatum is playing at his current level, but Smart's remarks still stand. For 19 games this season, Brown has averaged more than 26 points per game on 50% of his shooting. At the time of this recording, only 8 players in the NBA can say that, and they are the biggest names in the game. The proof is in the pudding, and Jaylen Brown is a star. That's a wrap for today's video. Thank you for watching. Hit that like button, drop those comments, and subscribe to the channel.